Hello everyone, this is Geek here, back with another How to Play. Today we're looking at how to play this game, Sandbag, which is by Bezier Games, designed by Ted Alspatz. And it's a pretty cool game. Trick-taking game is what it is. For, I believe it is 3 to 6 players. Yes, 3 to 6 players, ages 15 and up. Definitely, you want to be somewhat familiar with trick-taking games, getting into this one. And it takes about 30 minutes to play. This game is a game where there will be a trump suit, perhaps more than one trump suit. And it could change during the game as things happen. And it's also a type of game where you want to avoid winning tricks. Because winning tricks gives you points, and points are bad. You don't want points. In fact, that is why there's cards like these, rocket cards, that are negative points. The setup is pretty simple. There's also some reference cards here. This tells you about which will be trump, and the other side tells you about swapping cards, which we'll explain. It says here that you're going to be dumping sandbags from a balloon in order to achieve the greatest height, faster than your opponents in this trick-taking game. Where trump contains mid-trick. It's 71 cards in a rulebook. That includes, these cards. So, the cards, as I mentioned, you get 5 different suits. Yellow, orange, red, teal, and purple. That's right in front of my face. Each one has a different suit symbol for colorblind friendliness, which is awesome. You also have, I'm going to find them, these -5 cards, which will take -5 off your score and are good cards. For a 4-player game, you're going to use, there's these minus cards here, or rocket cards. There's 5, number 5, -5s. And there's 5 -7s. The -7s you use for 5 and 6 player games. And in a 5-6 player game, you don't use the -5s. You use -7 instead. For 3 players, you will remove one entire suit, if I recall correctly. Yes. One balloon color, the balloon cards is what they're called. And you're also going to remove one of the -5s. You will use just 4 -5s. That way, cards can get dealt out evenly, which is what I've done. You're always going to deal out all the cards evenly. And then you're going to do some setup. First of all, you're going to swap cards with your 2 neighbors. I'm going to swap one card with the person to my right or left, and one with the person to my right. So, I'm going to maybe give this 10 and this 10, because points are bad, obviously, to these 2 people. And they're each going to give me 1. The same thing's going to happen. These 2 are going to swap cards. These 2 are going to swap cards. Everyone is going to swap a card with their 2 neighbors. So it's not like other games where you're just passing cards to the left around the table or to the right. You're passing to each of your neighbors, so it's kind of interesting. Next, you're going to set up a sandbag and what is called the basket, which is basically your offer, if you will. So I'm going to take a card I don't really care about, and then maybe these 2 cards. I place them face down as such. Your sandbag card like this, and you have 2 cards here. Now, the sandbag card is a card that you're going to play into a trick face down, and it basically you're going to be losing the trick automatically. It's the lowest valued card you can play. These cards are going to be turned face up once everyone does the same, and they're going to be available for other players to swap with you. So let me just do a little setup here. Oof, this guy's got a bad hand. Actually, I should turn these right around because you want your opponents to be able to see them. I have a question on that one. So once everyone has set up their free cards, you're going to turn these two face up. And this is going to help us determine the trump suit. And yes, just going to play the -5. So what we're going to do is we'll kind of count up. We're going to look at the different colors here and see which color has the most of. In this case, we have 2 orange and 2 red. So there's a tie. So then what we're going to do further is look at the values. We got 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1. So we have a value of 5 for the red and 4 for the orange. That means the red is going to be the trump, at least for the time being. And whoever has the highest trump, that would be me, gets to be the start player. I did not do that on purpose. It's just how it worked out. And I'm going to lead. It's a must-follow game. So, you know, maybe I play this yellow 5. Now, this next player, they can play one of these, their sandbag card if they want. In the first round, you're going to have 1 sandbag. In subsequent rounds, you might have 2 or 3 sandbags. I'll explain that in a bit. They can do that if they want. Or they could just play a card. Or they could swap. There's rules to swapping. You would swap with one of these face-up cards. And there's, like I said, there's rules. You can swap cards if you're the first person to play into the trick. So I could have swapped, you know, maybe I could have swapped this purple 8 with that purple 2. And played the 2. You can swap if you are taking a card of the color that was led. Especially if you don't have a color that was led, it is a must follow. So if I play yellow, everyone else has to play yellow. If they have, you can swap if you don't have any cards of the color that's led, or you can swap if you only have one of the led color, and you use that card to swap. In this case, my opponent could swap with me, I do believe. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to take this 10, place it face down, take this, and they're going to play it into the trick. Because remember, you don't really want to win the tricks. This guy says, you know what, I'm going to play this 4. And this guy will play a 1. So I play the highest card. I win the trick. I'm going to collect all these and place them face down. I believe I'm placing this face down, if I recall correctly. Yes. And you cannot swap with yourself. I can't swap with myself and take this free. But I can do what I was going to do before, and I can swap with this player and take this 2. I'm going to play it immediately under the rule that I am the first to play this trick. My opponent here, he took a card as a suit that was led, so that's fine. And there's other rules to swapping. This guy's going to go. The trump, by the way, has not changed because there's still a higher value of red. But that could change in the game, will change. Just gonna play the 6. Sorry. What is he going to do? Let me just verify something here. Right. So if you don't have any card of the suit that was led and is not available to swap, you can play any card. So he's going to get rid of this 10. And this guy has to play purple, so he will, technically he could just play a -5. These -5s and the sandbags can be played at any time. So you know what? He's just going to play a sandbag and get rid of it. And then this player is going to go and he will play a 1, forcing me to take all these cards. You're going to continue going around the table until you've played all the cards in your hand. I'm getting mixed up as to whose hand is who here. I won't say this is my hand. I'm confused. I've mixed up cards here, unfortunately. What you're going to do is going to keep doing that until you've played out all the cards in your hand. Then you're going to score points. You're going to be playing 3 rounds. And whoever has the lowest score after 3 rounds wins the game. And there's a couple other things I'll talk about. Now, every card you have face down. Let's talk about scoring briefly. Every card you have face down, let's say this is what I have face down, is going to be worth 1 point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These face-up cards that are still left are going to be worth their face value. So this would be worth 3 points. So I'd have 14 points. If I have a minus card in my hand, I'm going to pull it out and subtract it. So let's say I had that, and let's just say I had 2 less. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 minus 5 is going to be a score of 7. You would write that down on a piece of paper. Everyone's going to do the same thing. You reshuffle, you redeal, do the whole setup again, basically. Now, going into the second and third round, if you're once again going to pass cards to your neighbors and place 2 cards down for your basket and a sandbag card. If you have a score of, you know, let's say I have a bunch of cards here and I have more than 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If I have more than 10, I can put down an extra basket for each 10 points I have. So if I had 13 points, I can put down a second sandbag along with my 2 basket cards. If I had, let's say, 23, I'd be able to put down a third sandbag. And these just help me get rid of bad cards to help me out. It's a way that the game uses to help you out if you are behind and have lots of points. So it's kind of cool. A couple other things to point out. Let me just go to the rules here. If, you know, if I want to, I can lead into a trick with a face-down sandbag card. But the next card played should be a number card, if the player has one. And that will determine the lead suit instead. If they don't have any face-up cards, they can play a sandbag. If everyone plays a sandbag, then it's the first one played wins the trick. Kind of the same thing with the rockets. If I lead with a rocket, the next person's suit will determine the lead suit. If everyone for some reason plays rockets, then whoever played the first one wins. If only rockets and sandbags are played, whoever played the first rocket wins as well. Now the trump card can change, as I mentioned. Let's go back to the setup I had. However that was. Let's just do a little setup here. think we had something like this. No, this wasn't here. Whatever, we'll do this. So again, to determine trump at the start, you're going to look at the cards that are on here. If, let's say, this is what we have. We have 3 yellow cards. Whichever one has the most, in this case it'd be yellow, would be the trump suit. And whoever played the highest trump gets the lead. But if we have a situation like this, kind of like we have 2 red, we have 2 orange, we even have 2 yellow. Then you're going to look at the values. And again, the red has 5, there's 4 orange, and there's 3 yellow. So the red would be the trump suit based on having the most value. And since I played the highest one, I would lead. However, let's say something else happened. If I can find a card here, that would help me out. This explanation. Let's say something like this happened. We had 4 for the orange and 4 for the red. In this case, we would have 2 trump suits. Red and orange would both be trump because they have the same value. And we would go to the first person to the left of the dealer that had a trump suit. That would be this guy. And they would get the lead. So it's interesting how the whole thing works. And as you play the game, let's say this card gets removed, gets played by another person, and they swap out. Well, now all of a sudden, orange has the most value, and it becomes a trump. Later on, if this goes away, that would change it so that yellow is the trump. This is how trump can change throughout a round. It's a very interesting trick-taking game when you're trying to avoid scoring points, and so you don't want to win tricks. And trump can change, and you can swap out cards with your opponent. It's pretty cool. And again, putting this -5 here is actually not a bad idea, because then if somebody takes this and swaps it out, and then you play a higher card and win the trick, you're going to take the -5 back. So that's why you might want to put it here. And this, you always want to put high-valued cards because you want to get rid of them. So that anyways, is the game. It's pretty cool, I think. Decent quality components. Nice little finish on the cards. And that is Sandbag. I apologize if this video is a little bit long. Comment, like, subscribe. Hopefully that will make sense. We'll see you next time for more. Thanks for watching.